Hey everyone, it's Corin from iknituknot. Told you I'd be back, and it wasn't even 3 months this time. I uh, I wanted to talk a little bit this time about community, and not the 6 seasons and a movie one. Even though I should get back and watch that some more. It's a really good show. Um, no, I want to talk about the community that I have found in knitting and crochet in the fiber arts world, especially online, but also in person. The process of finding community has been a journey for me. At first, when I learned how to crochet, it was a completely solitary activity for me. I grabbed my yarn, I grabbed my hook, and I would sit in my room and I would crochet alone. And I was okay with that for a while. And then I found Ravelry. I found all of these wonderful designs, all of these beautiful patterns, and I also found the forums. I didn't know that there was so much to talk about when it came to fiber arts. I didn't know that there were so many people willing to get together and talk about these things, about the things that they loved, about the things that they were passionate about. I didn't know that there were so many people who were gathering together in one place, talking about this newfound love of mine. And I never joined in. I was terrified to. I thought I didn't know enough. I thought I was too inexperienced. I thought I was the new kid on the block, and so why would anybody listen to me about anything? So I never posted in the forums, and I never found that community for myself. Then for me came Tumblr, and that was the beginning of a major change. I found Knitspo Tumblr, Knitblr, as we called it, where people would just post their own work, they would reblog other people's work, they would find things that they found beautiful and wonderful, and they would post it to their accounts, and there were entire blogs that were meant just as inspiration. It wasn't even original work, but they would post it just to gawk at, just to show to other people and go, isn't this beautiful? And other people would join in and go, yes, that is beautiful. And I thought, hey, I could do that even if I'm not showing my own work, because I was still a beginner at the time and I didn't have the self-esteem needed to show off my work. But I could show off other people's work. I could show off the work that other people wanted shown off. And so I started a Tumblr that was specifically for knitting and crochet. And it got way bigger than I ever thought it would. It was amazing. To this day, I don't know how I managed it, but I amassed quite a following on there, and I made so many friends, people that I still talk to this day, people who would find me outside of Tumblr and go, oh my god, you're I Knit You Not. And like Tumblr made you some kind of celebrity. But it was amazing how just posting other people's work, I could gain this following that was surreal to me. And then after a while, I was always grateful to the people that followed me. That was always an amazing thing. They didn't have to do that, and I loved them for it. I still do. But a Knitspo Tumblr wasn't enough for me. I didn't want to post other people's work. I would post someone else's work and it would get hundreds of notes. I would post a joke or a shit post and it would get on a good day, it would get a few thousand notes. I would share my own work, my own knitting and crochet after I got up the self-esteem to share what I was making. And I would maybe see 100 notes. And that was an ego killer. I knew it wasn't for any reason. I knew it wasn't because my work was terrible. I knew that the work of others that I was sharing was just that impressive. And that mine hadn't gotten to that level yet. I didn't have the photography skills yet. But it was still just like, I wanted to share something that was mine. I wanted to show what I had to offer to the knit and crochet community. And that's when I discovered Instagram. To this day, I'm most proud of the work that I've put into Instagram. It feels silly to say that. It feels silly to be proud of social media, but I put a lot of work into it. And that work was all mine. It was my knitting, my crochet, my jokes, my reels. It was all mine. Whether it flopped, whether it succeeded, whether it went viral, it was mine. And it felt better to me. It felt more authentic. And I think because of it being more authentic, it was easier to find community. It was easier to find people who wanted to be friends, who I could connect with, because I was actually being me and I was sharing myself instead of sharing other people. And the people I have found on this little app are wonderful. I have found some of my best friends. I have found my girlfriend. It's amazing. It's amazing what this little app has done for me. I have group chats. I've done make-alongs. I've been involved in charity giveaways, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. And some of these people I've even met in real life, and that absolutely blows my mind because I grew up in a time when you didn't tell anyone your real name on the internet or, ASL, age, sex, location. You didn't do that. And now I'm meeting these people who I would have never had a chance to meet if it wasn't for the fact that I migrated over to Instagram and started sharing this huge part of myself. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful that, I might be just kind of scrolling every day and, whatever, but I'm grateful in the end that I have made so many wonderful friends who all share my passion, who know what I'm talking about when I complain about the frustration of having to frog mohair, or who share my excitement when I come out with a new pattern. I love that. But community isn't just online, right? You have to, you don't have to, but I had to find people in real life who I could sit with in person and share this love, this passion. I remember the first time I could really do that was when I found YarnCon in Chicago. And I remember just thinking, people have conventions for yarn? That's a thing? You can just go to a convention? And I went and there were all these people and all these stalls and all these vendors and people proudly wearing the things they made. And of course, buying lots of yarn like I did that day. And I remember thinking, these are my people. I found my people. I need to be around them more. And that was actually my first introduction to like fancy yarn, to like hand dyed yarns and indie dyers, things beyond your big box Joann's, Michael's yarns. And ever since that moment, I was obsessed with the idea of getting to a local yarn store. I needed to find one. I needed to find my people closer to me. 2 days ago was actually the fourth anniversary of the first time I ever stepped foot into Cream City Yarn in Brookfield, Wisconsin. And that ended up being a haven for me. It ended up being my LYS. It ended up being a place where I could go, where I knew people would be just as excited about string as I was. I knew I could go in there and find people who had the same level of excitement and passion, who maybe had more expertise than I did, who I could go to with questions, and they would offer much more personalized attention than just watching a YouTube video on how to do something. I met all the wonderful employees. I met Nicole and Kate and Lisa, and I remember thinking, this is where I belong. This is my place. I loved it there. And apparently I loved it so much that 4 years later I decided to work there. And that's been one of the greatest decisions I've ever made in my life. To go every few days and see people who love what I love and have open knitting where people can just drop in and sit with you and commiserate and share their lives and talk about everything and nothing, and to suddenly be part of a group, to suddenly be part of a group of people that had this in common, that could offer accountability when I needed to get something done, where I could drop in and say, hey, I need 2 hours to work on this shawl uninterrupted, but also I need someone to talk to. And to get that is an experience that I wish everyone could have. Not just in fiber arts, but in any area, in any art, in any creative endeavor that you can have. I hope that for people. I hope that people can go and create with other people, because it brings a whole other experience to it. It brings a whole new depth to what you're doing. I feel like I put more good vibes into the thing I'm making when I make it with other people. Community is so important. We don't create in a vacuum. We don't exist in a vacuum. And I wish I had known that sooner. I wish I had found my people earlier in my knitting and crochet journey. But now that I have, I'm extremely grateful. I'm extremely thankful that I have found all the people that I have found online and off, including all of you. Yeah, it humbles me and excites me. I love that you're here with me, so thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all your support and all of your kind words. And I'll see you later, my community. Bye.